SummerSlam, the first ever two-night SummerSlam.
The thing people have to put in perspective is that these events, you're kicking crazy bread to attend. This is a spectacle.
First hour only had one match.
Make certain events, 2 nights, but don't make them all 2 nights. It's just overdoing it. When I tell y'all I was at the edge of my seat, man, this feels like being 15 again, watching wrestling.
Hip-hop and wrestling. The SummerSlam, the first ever two-night SummerSlam. And I don't think this is going to be the last. It was actually a pretty good weekend, a pretty hype weekend. Overall, I enjoyed the show. We're going to go match by match to break down what we thought about each match and then figure out our overall score of the show. I believe they're going to keep doing the two-night SummerSlam. I don't know what that says for other shows like Rumble or Survivor Series. Honestly, the Rumble would make the most sense with the men's Rumble main eventing one night and the women's main eventing another night. If they wanted to go that route, the Rumble's never really a match-heavy card to begin with because the Rumble match itself is an hour at least, minimum. Right? But if they wanted to test the waters with that, they could. They could test the waters with that and MITV if they wanted to, for Money in the Bank. But at what point does it become overkill? I'm not quite sure. First, let me just start with you, Gold. What did you think about just a two-night SummerSlam? Is this something that you're looking forward to in the future?
Yes, sir, for sure. I enjoyed both nights, but most definitely night 2 was better than night 1. The ending, of course, was Chef's Kiss, beautiful, but I really enjoyed it. And I think they should definitely continue moving forward like 2 nights for SummerSlam. Second WrestleMania.
Madison Jay, what did you think about the first ever two-night SummerSlam?
I think it's a dope concept having it go 2 nights. SummerSlam has always been like the WrestleMania of the summer, kind of like the midway point of the year, almost like if it was All-Star, even though it's not a break, it's like that midpoint, all right, leading into the ending of the year, going into Rumble and all that whole cycle. I've already looked at SummerSlam as a counterpart to WrestleMania. WrestleMania is on 2 nights. It makes sense for SummerSlam to follow up going 2 nights as well. The thing people have to put in perspective is that, these events, being that you're kicking crazy bread to attend, this is a spectacle. This is an event. If you're willing to invest in it, that's on the patron, whoever's attending, in terms of if they want to deal with whatever comes with being able to attend these events. It's a spectacle. WWE is cognizant of that. They always give us like a weekend, especially on big pay-per-views, the big 5. They always give some type of fan going on. They're trying to expand the business of it and collect all those dollars by expanding it by 2 nights. And it's also giving talent more stretch in terms of being able to make the big event with 2 nights. If you were to take the best matches, there would be a lot of talent that probably wouldn't have been on a main card event. I'm not knocking at the splitting of having it 2 nights because it's giving the fans enough action to carry over. It's crazy when you look at it though. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, back to work. It is expanding the workload for WWE overall, not even just the wrestlers, but the crew as well. Those who are setting up the rings.
Yeah.
The tech crew is putting some wear and tear on them as well. So I'm also being cognizant of that, of like, hey, people who are behind the scenes along with all these dates and events recognize what they're going through too.
Oh yeah, even just to set up that huge stage and break it down and then go to the next town, so much goes into this overall production of what we get to see on television. Now, I will say this, for a 2-night SummerSlam, the first ever, and although one night clearly, in my opinion, was better than the other, I still think they filled it out. I got my money's worth and my viewing time worth. I definitely had a fun time seeing it split the way they did. Of course, we could take some matches in, take some matches out. We could merge it together and maybe make one super long 4-hour, 5-hour event if we wanted to. Night 1, although it was a 3.5-hour show, it was only like 90 minutes of wrestling total. WWE has their way of pacing things.
Yeah.
First hour only had one match, and then that first hour ended with the tag team match starting, in night 1 that is. So 20 minutes of wrestling in the first hour of SummerSlam night 1. That's crazy when you think about it.
It is crazy.
I don't know, man, because to me, it's like going to like sporting event, literally. A sporting event technically is only supposed to be allocated time of what they play. Then penalties, or infractions, you got ads, you got breaks. So then it stretches, it's going to stretch the game out. A 60-minute game is now stretched to 3 hours. So it's wrestling, but then they forget that E word, the entertainment. They have these big guest hosts. They need to speak. They need to be seen. You also want to have little segments where character and dialogue is going on, might be a behind the scenes. If you really think about it, matches are really kind of like outside of the matches that they want to go. I know that AEW is very keen on.
Yeah.
Be either, it's an entertainment thing. A segment post-match might be longer than the actual match might have been. It's like you're getting that experience. The movies, you're going to the ads. The movie isn't that long. So they're hitting you with, hey, get into your trailers and all that stuff. A movie is straightforward, but I've always been more a questioner of people saying, yo, such and such amount of wrestling. I'm like, bro, it's entertainment. Mind you, y'all got to go to the bathroom. You want to get something to eat. You want to be able, and that's just
popcorn break.
It's just, spacing. It's just, to me, it's kind of been normal spacing of events, but also, with the advent of having ad revenue and having these ads and stuff come into play, now it's going to be a little bit more ad heavy. But in the society that we live in, what isn't? Our phones, music, damn near everything has ads now. That's just kind of the society that we're in. Not saying that it's okay, but just kind of saying it is what it is.
I agree with you 100%. It does feel like, it feels like a actual sporting event. You got timeouts. You got like the intermission where somebody come in and like juggling like bowling pins or something. You got to have those breaks to make sure you set up for like the next segment and give people a break to like, go to the bathroom or go get a hot dog or whatever they want to get, something like that. So I agree with you 100%. It makes sense. It looks like an actual sporting event and it's getting treated as such.
Yeah, and when you put it that way, that all makes sense. If you're in the arena or in the stadium when it's happening, you probably don't even notice how much time, just the way time flies. Like some people's interests might be longer than the actual match. It just depends on what they do within that time allotted to get it done. But we don't want people to be shorted on time if they could have had a longer match. Jade and Tiffany was like 7 minutes long. Could it have went 12? Could it have went 15? I think that the time allotted was good enough for that particular match. And we'll get into that once we go over it. But, it's 2 nights, right? 2 nights, 6 matches per night. They could have made it 7, maybe. 8 might have been overkill. When you think about all the great talent that didn't make it onto either night.
Yeah.
Bailey didn't have a match, right?
Yeah.
Carmelo, Aleister Black, Damian Priest, a lot of talent. Stephanie Valkyrie could have been her first, SummerSlam. But they'll take that into consideration next year. Going into next year, now that they've seen how this worked, how this flowed, and whatever revenue numbers they generate, they'll say, all right, next year, we know how we can totally stack the card. And now we can build up towards it, because typically SummerSlam is also not a huge title change type of show. It's one of the big four, one of the original big four, but most happens on the Rumble and WrestleMania. They did good. So I'm with the 2-night SummerSlams. I don't want them to go overkill with every PLE, but certain ones that make sense, if they can do it, and if it's going to be in a stadium, because stadium shows already have a big vibe to begin with. Okay, you want to give me 2 Money in the Banks in the stadium? I might be cool with that, maybe. I don't know. Royal Rumble? I don't know.
I don't think those events should be split up only because they're themed events. And when I say that, I mean like having a Rumble each night to me is kind of an overkill, because you got wrestlers working. You got that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. You got them working. And mind you, the Rumble isn't a normal match. It is very physical. Even if you're wrestling, it's still a lot. You got to mentally stay active depending on whatever the next day is. I just feel like those events in particular, SummerSlam, you can throw on a special match, SummerSlam, WrestleMania, but there's no theme to it outside of just being big grand events. But Royal Rumble has a theme to it. Money in the Bank has a theme to it. So I feel like just those type of events might be a little bit overkill having them split when you could just kind of compact it onto one night so that it's not overkill. Because would I want to see another Money in the Bank or another Royal Rumble, especially knowing that it's like it's a women or men's? Mind you, we know with the women's, it's like, okay, well, we know people are going to come. That's not even knocking that. But it's like, do I really, if they do women's first, am I really going to care enough to be like, save it for the men's, or vice versa? I was just thinking more on the physicality for the workers, them going 4 straight days leading into those type of events.
Yeah.
I'm with you, man. Make certain events, 2 nights, but don't make them all 2 nights. It's just overdoing it. Like a WrestleMania, SummerSlam, maybe Royal Rumble. Anything else, we're good with 1 night.
Well, now I'm thinking based off of what Madison just said about, the gimmicks. Maybe that show should be the gimmick itself and have the 2 gimmick matches within that show, and then they can use the rest of that weekend to promote NXT. Kind of like they did Money in the Bank weekend. They had a NXT show, then they have the big WWE show, or when they're gonna do Evolution with Saturday night's main event packed. Like they want to get all their brands in circulation on one weekend. There's multiple ways to do that versus a 2-night extravaganza. I think the SummerSlam name and brand is big enough to do that. And the WrestleMania brand clearly, of course, is big enough to do that. Like something like Survivor Series, I couldn't see them doing it 2 separate nights for 2 separate weekends. That wouldn't make sense. So
the Royal Rumble, 1 night women's, 1 night men's.
The Royal Rumble makes sense, but they're not known for stacking that card with matches on the undercard. So they would have to figure out how we want to work that out. When's the last time you've seen a title change on a Rumble? Not that they can't. You got enough talent to do it. It's just, it's not known for that. So but if they want to do something for that weekend, something big for that weekend, that's option 1. Or just have the Rumble and an NXT event. Or just say, F it, let's give people some time to rest and relax. The Rumble is like probably the most important show of the year because it determines so many different things, right?
It's the build up for WrestleMania.
Yeah, exactly. The season starts right then and there.
Yeah.
That's when all the speculation and the fantasy booking comes into place. I digress. Back to where we started. SummerSlam, the first 2-night one ever. I think it was a successful venture. I'm not mad at it, and I'm okay with it going forward. So shout out to WWE for actually doing it right. I have my doubts, I have my concerns. Even the way they promoted the card leading up to it, I was worried because they had too many shows going on in between to where they didn't really put a lot of focus on heat building. But once the show got here, the card was fleshed out, I was like, all right, yeah, this is big, this is SummerSlam. I think they can make some improvements on how they build up to it next year.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Lessons learned. And maybe they need to work on their pacing of spacing out these shows. Even now, they got another pay-per-view in 3 weeks with Clash in Paris.
But fellas, can I honestly say, I don't know how y'all feeling about this. Like, when I tell y'all I was at the edge of my seat on SummerSlam, I was like, man, this feels like being 15 again, watching wrestling. I'm excited. I'm jumping up like, yes, yes. Beautiful segments. Shout out to Paul Lewis, man, and the writing team.
No, I agree.
Yeah, they did their thing. They did their thing. I'll give it to them. Now it's all about the follow-up. They got a lot,
yes, sir,
a lot to follow up. So I guess let's go ahead and start that and segue into the matches.
Right now, you're checking out VSOP.
Hip-hop and wrestling, hip-hop and wrestling.